Hello, Adventure Rock. Good morning. I'm Alex, and we're going to be going through some functional style movements this morning. And first off, I wanted to share with you a little bit about what functional exercise is. Um, Functional exercise will be any type of exercise that improves the function of what you do every day. That includes for us rock climbing, sitting, standing, working, running, squatting, whatever. Um, so if it improves the function of what you're doing, it's functional. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with in a quadruped position. And we're going to do a couple of rocks back and forth from child's pose to cobra. And then we're going to do some rotations. So first, let's start in child's pose. We'll reach out really far in front of us and set our butt back towards our feet. Get a nice stretch through the front of the shoulder if you can, by pressing that chest towards the floor and drawing those hips back towards your feet. And then we'll rock forward up into a cobra. If you're feeling strong, drive your toes into the floor to pick your knees up. And drive your hands into the floor to push your shoulders down. We'll rock back to child's pose. Three deep breaths here. Rock forward to cobra. Three deep breaths. Back to child's pose. Really draw your hands forward to get a little extra reach out of it. Then draw your hips back again and draw your chest towards the floor. And back up to cobra. And as you're in cobra, really drive those shoulders down and back. Keep the head up high and chin tucked. And then back into your child's pose. Two more deep breaths. This time as you roll into cobra, when you get to the position where your hips are over your knees, pick up those knees and then get into your cobra. And then see if you can work your way back without setting your knees down until your hips are over your knees. We'll do that two more times. And into your cobra, knees off the floor. All the way forward, drive those hands into the floor. Keep that head high, the chin tucked. Abdomen engaged, and draw your hips back. Keeping those knees off the floor as long as you can until you rock back into child, stepping down. Nice deep breaths. And one more time, Cobra. All right, let's rock back into our quadruped position. So this position, you'll find that your knees are directly underneath your hips and your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. A couple things to be careful about in this position is you don't want your head to be reaching towards the floor. Just like when we're doing our push-ups and our planks, we don't want our head sagging down towards the floor. A suspended position like this is really good at, if we do it properly, encouraging really good posture. And so if we draw our head up and tuck our chin at the same time, we'll give ourselves better alignment in our upper spine, which will improve this kind of hunched over position we get into when we're at our computers. If you're doing that, try and avoid it if you can. So back into our quadruped position, using your hips, hands under shoulders, head up but chin tucked, almost like you're squishing a grapefruit or an apple under your chin as you pull your head up. Next, we're going to do some rotations here. I want you to take your right hand. We'll start with our right hand. We're going to reach through underneath our left hand. We're going to press our pinky against the ground like we're karate chopping. We'll feel a stretch in the back of the right shoulder. And we'll reach up to the sky. And press the floor away with the left hand. And come back through. Karate chop with the right hand. Reach into the sky. Karate chop with the right hand. Press the left hand into the floor to reach into the sky. Do it 4 more times. 1. Deep breath in as you karate chop. Deep breath out as you reach. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. In. Out. In. Out. Now do it on the other side. Take that left hand. Reach through. Karate chop. Drive that right hand into the floor. Breathe out as you reach towards the sky. Deep breath in, karate chop. The left hand, press it into the floor so you can feel it in the back of the left shoulder. Deep breath in, press on the right hand and breathe out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. We'll do 3 more. Really focus on this one. After you karate chop and you press it right hand to the floor, I want you to drive the floor away as hard as you can. Do 2 more. Karate chop. Breathe out. Last one. A good cue to think about in your quadruped position. This is true in your planks and push-ups. When you bear crawls later, it's important too. When you press that hand to the floor, try and almost, you want it to stay still, but you use your shoulder to corkscrew it into the floor, which will really engage your lats and protect your neck. It'll look like your hand is kind of twisting like this, but you keep it still as much as you can. So now we're going to do some shoulder dislocates. You can use either a long towel or a band or some sort of broomstick or broom handle. Basically, we're doing arm circles with our shoulders. You can do this standing, seated, doesn't matter. Key points are to make sure that we're not flaring through our rib cage right here. We want to keep that rib cage packed down, and we want to keep our tailbone tucked in and our head nice and high. Same thing, head tucked back, crush down on your chin like you're squeezing a grapefruit. We're not looking down. We have a long gaze into the distance, but crushing a piece of fruit under our chin. So take the dowel, and you're going to grab it wide enough that you can make it around your shoulders without, or from forward to back without bending your arms or wiggling around a lot. The goal will be to get as close as you can without wiggling around while achieving a moderate stretch. You don't want it to be too intense. So for me, that's going to be right at the end of this, this broom handle. And you're going to, so for me, grab the ends. I want you to push out and away from you. And I want your hands to be as far from your shoulders as possible, meaning you're always pushing away from your shoulders as you move around in a circle. As you reach this point where the bar is above you, it's going to be tempting to break this way. Challenge you to keep everything stacked in a tall line. As you draw the dowel towards your butt. We're going to bring it all the way back around, nice and smooth. Don't reach with that head. Keep it tucked back. We're going to do these. So that's 2. Keep it breathing nice and long and even. It's important to keep breathing a consistent part of your exercise and to use it tactfully, because according to a lot of my mentors, they say that if you can't breathe through an exercise, you don't own it. And so to improve your ownership of the exercise, show really good, smooth, even breathing. We're going to do 3 more. Really focus on driving those fists as far away from your shoulders as possible while keeping really good posture. And last one. All right. Last exercise in our warm-up is a great exercise that I learned over at Crux, the chiropractic and sports rehab in Shorewood. And what we do is it's called a single leg reaching twist. This is excellent for balance. This is excellent for hip mobility and motor control while we're on one foot. We spend a lot of time as climbers on one foot, standing up and trying to balance side to side. It's a really good base for single leg deadlifts and exercises like that. So what you're going to do is we're going to stand nice and tall. And let's say we're going to start on our right leg as our supporting leg. You're going to really grab the ground with those toes. Okay? Nice tall posture. Now imagine there's a straight line going from your left heel all the way up through your head. And we want to keep that straight line. We don't want to bend in the upper back or in the low back. We don't want to let this go in the low back. So I want you to drive that heel back and keeping a straight leg. This forward leg can bend a bit. This is our single leg reach. If you need to use your hands for balance, that's totally great. We're going to come back up to the forward position. Raise your knee up high, and we're going to twist. First twist in, as far as you can go comfortably, and then twist to the outside. And then see if you can, without actually setting that foot down, sweep that foot back. Straight line from your heel to your head. If you're not sure if you have a straight line, check out my back leg right now. See how with the back leg, if it's not straight, if it's bent a little bit, it's harder to keep my upper posture. If I drive that leg back really hard, the whole body has a tendency to straighten up when I engage through the core. And then come back up, rotate to the right and to the left. Sweep back again. Whoop. Morning balance, I tell you. Sweep back again with the left foot. And keep that left toe pointed towards the floor. Come back up, rotate, and out, come back, and we'll reach again. Last one, oops, last one on this side for now. And up, and rotate in, and out. Come back to the middle. All right, now we're going to do it on our other leg. Standing on your left foot, to your right heel. Drive that right heel backwards as you lift it off the floor. And you're going to lean forwards. Let that left leg bend a little bit. Keep a nice straight line from that heel all the way to your head. Come back up to a standing position. Don't set that foot down. Raise that knee up. Rotate to the inside. Rotate to the outside. A little hard to balance, and I'm trying to look at the screen too. And sweep that right leg back. My friend Angie calls these drinking birds. Thanks, Angie. And move forward, nice and high. Rotate in, rotate out, 3 more. Right leg straight, sweep it back, straight line from your heel to your head. Something to pay attention to in this reverse position is you can, without falling, take a look at your back leg. Or else you can take your hands and put them on your hips with your fingers facing wherever your hips are facing. Your hips are facing straight at the ground, your hands will be square to the ground. If your hands are kind of off to the side like this at an angle, then your back foot is probably turned out a little bit, which guides your hips to the outside. So you turn that toe in to get yourself nice and square. So we're going to do it again. Sweep back. Right knee up. And knee to the outside, twist. When you do this twist, you really are getting this twist off of the bottom leg. Twist in and relax. So that's our warm up. We're going to do it one more time. And we're going to, if you guys have any questions at all, hit up the live chat. I'll try and answer your questions as best as I can. We're going to go through those exercises one more time, a little bit faster this time. So we're going to start in child's. And we're going to rock back and up the cobra. Rock back. Up in the cobra, breathe out. Breathe into child. Breathe out to cobra. Breathe into child. Breathe out to cobra. Keep those knees off the floor as long as you can. Breathe into child. Out to cobra. Into child. Out to cobra. So you can keep your knees off the ground the whole time. Into child. Out to cobra. And two more. Last one. Into child. Out to cobra. Hold it for a moment. Drive those shoulders towards the floor. Get that chin crushed. And onto your knees in your quadruped position. We're going to go right hand first. Karate chop. Breathe in. Breathe out and reach. And two. Karate chop. Reach. 3, 4, 5, 6, reach, 7, reach, 8, 9, 10. And other side. Take a moment to check your head posture. Make sure that your chin is crushed and your head is being pulled up. Left hand karate chop and left hand reach. Draw that right hand to the floor. And 2, karate chop. Out, reach. Breathe in, karate chop. Reach. 3, 4, reach. 5, 6, 7, 8, breathe out and reach. 9, drive that hand to the floor. 10, last one. Okay. Now our shoulder dislocates. A bar is great, so is a long towel. I also like to do it with a band for a little resistance. Rip that band apart. Go around 10 times. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that chin is tucked back. Posture is nice and tall. Crushing to not let those ribs flare out. Three more. Last one. Excellent work. All right, our single leg reach and twist. We do 5 on each side. Let's start on the right leg. So we're going to sweep back. Let that leg bend, get to a vertical or as far as you can. If you can't reach that far back, this is great. You can use a little bit of balance here and tap the ground with your toe. That's totally okay, as long as you're working on that balance and that coordination. And up, rotate, in, rotate out. Make sure you're getting that rotation off the supporting leg. Reach back. And come back up. Rotate, rotate, middle, straight leg. Press that heel back towards the wall behind you. Come back up. Rotate in, rotate out. And sweep back. Keep that head posture nice and tall. Rotate again, and last one. Reach really far back as you can. Press that heel towards the wall behind you, and come back to the front. Rotate in, rotate out, and step down. All right, we're gonna do this on the left leg. Let's do it. Right leg up, Reach with that right leg. Drive it back towards the wall behind you. As far as you can, as far as you feel comfortable. Some people are going to be here, some people are going to be here. That's okay. You just find your place. And up, rotate out, rotate in, sit that down, reach back, press that right foot to the wall behind you, and come back up, rotate in, rotate out, whoop. No, 2 more, reach, and forward, and twist, twist, reach, press that right foot full behind you again, nice and hard. You can get a little bit more stretch off that back, off that supporting hamstring, and come to the front, knee up high, rotate, and set that foot down. Some of you guys might feel this as tiring in your feet. That's great. It's a great foot activation exercise as well. Let's take 2 seconds for a little coffee break, water break, whatever you guys need. Again, if you guys have questions, concerns, ways to change up these exercises, let me know, and I will try to answer that question as best as I can. Okay. So there is a beautiful exercise called shin box that is excellent for hip mobility. It somewhat resembles a drop knee in climbing. And the way we turn our inside hip in and our knee down to get closer to the wall. And it can also be coupled with a little balance exercise that we came up with. And so I'm going to teach it to you guys right now. I think it's really great. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with your making boxes with your legs. You want to make a 90-degree angle with your left leg and a 90-degree angle with your right leg. With your right leg a little bit more out in front of you like this. And you want to make sure that the direction that your left shin is facing makes a straight line into your right foot. Now, some people are going to be able to, in good posture, sit both hips down on the floor. I'm not able to. Not everyone is able to, and that's okay. It feels like a stretch to get down into it. Keep going. That's totally fine. If it feels like a hard stop or it hurts, don't do it. So this is going to be really great for your hip activation, and then eventually, and a good hip stretch in the front, and also will be a balance exercise on the outside. So from this position, I like to clasp my hands together in the front, or like put them together in kind of a yogi-ish position. Some people need their hands behind them. Whatever works for you, but what we're going to do is we're going to rotate our knees to our left. You essentially make another box with our knees. Rotate back to the right, twice more. So this is our base rotation with the hips. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try and get up into a kneel from this position. So we're back on the right side. So the inside of our left knee and the outside of our right knee is on the floor. We're going to lean over our right shin. We're going to drive our knee and foot into the floor as hard as you can to lift up. A little pop in my hip. It's totally fine. Once you're up, you may feel a stretch in your hip flexor. Come back down. Rotate. Go to the other side. Hop up. Come back down nice and slow. Rotate. Again, if you have to put your hands back to rotate, that's totally fine. Come back up. Down. And make sure that when you come down, we don't plop. We want to show control through the whole exercise. Rotate to the left, up, down, nice and slow. I got one more thing to add to this exercise. As you come up, this is again challenge by choice. As you come up, scoot back a little bit. You'll find that you lean over that right knee, for the supporting knee. You will be able to free up this back leg and come to a kneel. We're going to step it back again. Set the knee down, nice and slowly seat yourself down. Rotate those hips back to the left, come back up, and step forward. Step back, whoop, don't lose your balance. Set the knee down, and set your hips down. Great, we'll come back to that. Next, we're going to work on a bear crawl. Just like we said in our quadruped position before, when you're on all fours, you want to avoid this bad head posture with the head drooping towards the floor. And you also want to avoid any arches in the back. So, here's a challenge. If you feel that this position is pretty easy, I want you to lift your knees up off the floor. But don't get ahead of yourself just yet. First, we're going to tap our shoulders. Tap your left arm with your right hand. Tap your right arm with your left hand. When you do this, I want you to push into the floor real hard. Reason being, we want to form, we're just going to keep alternating just so you can get the hang of it. Then I want you to lift up. As you lift the left hand, just lift your right leg off the floor a little bit. There may be some tendency to want to rotate a little bit. Your job in this exercise is to keep that back perfectly flat and still. If someone had a hot cup of coffee or their Irish coffee, whatever they want in the morning, they should be able to set that hot cup of coffee on your back and not be able to tell that it's moving. So we're going to raise up the left knee and right arm, keeping that chin tucked, and switch, and switch. Now, this is really easy. The next progression is to drill those feet into the floor and just go to the hands. Quite challenging. Just march the hands. Do not let your back rotate like this. I'm going to do it 3 more times on each side. 2. And breathe through it. Doesn't matter where the breath is, just keep breathing. Okay, great. Next, we're going to do a wall angel. You can also do this on the floor. It's going to be a little hard from that position to see my low back, and that's okay. The main thing is we're going to get a little bit of a squat in so that we can press our low back against the wall. I want you to, your legs will be bent on about, it's halfway between 90 and 180. Press that low back to the wall and pull that head to the wall. Don't let those ribs flare. If you can stick even a paper clip behind that back, it's not pressed against the wall hard enough. Then you're going to take your hands and we're going to try and flush our hands to the wall, especially all the way up the forearm from the wrist to the elbow. Now, one thing that helps me is I make a fist and crush down with that chin. We don't want to look up. Crush the chin, crush the abdomen, pull back into the wall. You're going to reach as high as you can. We're going to try and get to straight. Your hands come off the wall a little bit. That is okay, as long as you're working on pulling them back the whole time. Here we go. 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have any clunking in the shoulder, sometimes putting a band between your hands and pulling it apart to that exercise can help. It's a great exercise. Okay. Last exercise in this set I have for you guys is called tabletop. This is technically a regression from a plank, but doing it properly will be quite challenging, actually, and will actually make your planks, your push-ups, and even your pull-ups better because it will encourage much better engagement of the shoulders. So we're going to get on our stomachs. And I want you to draw those elbows down and underneath your shoulders. You're going to press your hands flat into the floor, okay? You're going to drill your shoulders down and back by pulling back with those elbows. In a plank, a lot of us get into this position where our shoulders are near our ears, and that puts extra strain on that neck. So draw the shoulders down and back by pulling hard, by pressing on the floor hard with our palms and elbows, and pulling those elbows back towards our knees. Now our knees, our elbows are not moving. They're just pulling together to form tension. Next, to get into our tabletop, we're going to crush our abdomen by tucking our tailbone and drawing hard with the knees. You make a nice flat top. Nice flat top with your back. I'm going to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, pull those knees and elbows together as hard as you can. Take 3 more deep breaths. This is very engaging. The harder you pull, the harder it is. Pull those shoulders down and back. And rest. Great job, guys. Okay, so like I said, that tabletop is technically a regression from the plank and a push-up, but we'll really clean it up. A lot of people have a habit of having a arched low back in their push-ups. We want to keep that tucked in by tucking that tailbone. All right, we're going to go back to our shin box. We're going to do 5 to each side. So we're going to start our right leg on our right side. Make 90-90 with those legs. Lean forward, come up, and step. Step back. Sit down nice and smooth and slow. Rotate those legs. 90-90. Lean forward, come up, feel the stretch. Step forward. Come back nice and slow. Set that knee down. Sit down nice and smooth. Rotate those legs. Again, if you have more space at home, you can rotate without your feet moving as much as you can. This is the way to go if you have the space. I'm a little limited on space. So come up, step forward, step back, knee down, hips down nice and smooth. Rotate. Up. Step. And step back. Sit down nice and smooth, no flopping. Swivel back, hips up, and forward. Step forward, nice and smooth. And step back. Set the knee down. Sit down on your box. Rotate your box. It's normal to accidentally creep forward or in some direction while you are doing this exercise. Might have to readjust. Totally okay. And step forward. Step back. And down. Hips down. And this is the last one. Move forward, hips forward, move forward. Now, as you step back this time, I have a challenge for you. If it was challenging for you already, do what you did before. If it was not challenging, you sweep that leg back, keep it off the floor, and try and keep it off the floor as you lean down. And we'll switch sides. Come on up. Step forward. Step back. Try and keep that foot off the floor as you sit down. Oof, quite challenging. In order to be successful with the one foot on the floor, you have to really drive that supporting foot into the floor very, very aggressively. For most of us, it's a little too hard, but I think it's a great progression that is reachable for a lot of people. All right, so bear crawl. So this time, I want everyone to try tapping with their hands and see if they can do, you can do it with those knees off the floor. Remember, this is forming tension across the body. So when you are on your right hand, when you're pressing on that right hand, lifting the left leg or lifting the left hand, the left leg has to take over for the left arm. And so you're going to find that that control in your core. So drill those hands in the floor, knees under your hips, crush with that abdomen, drive those feet into the floor. And again, if there was a hot cup of coffee up there, I don't want to be able to tell that that your back is moving. No spilling your coffee. So raise the right hand, left leg. Raise the left arm, right leg. Switch again. Keep that head pulled up high. Switch. Switch. Now hold it for 2 breaths. Switch. Hold it for 2 breaths. Hold it for 2 breaths. Switch. Switch again. Left arm, right foot. Last one. All right, good job, guys. Go back to our wall angel. Again, you can also do the wall angel on the floor if you want it to be a little bit more passive. I prefer it to be a little bit more active. It really helps with the mobility of our shoulder while reaching to an actual reclining. So, knees between 90 and straight to flush our low back, really our whole back against the floor. Arms out to the sides. Again, you want to use a band to make it a little bit more active. That's your prerogative, you may. So press that low back against the floor and reach. I find the band helps keep me honest. Pull those wrists against the wall as much as you can. Keep that chin tucked. Keep reaching. 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep those wrists flush against the wall. 8. Chin tucked. 9. 10. That's great, guys. All right. We're going to go back into our tabletop. We're going to hold it for a little longer this time. We're going to go 5 breaths on, 3 breaths off. We're going to go 3 times. So, again, you set up into a plank as if you're going to start from laying down. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Press those palms into the floor. Don't let the arms move, but drag your elbows back down towards your knees. Drag your knees towards your elbows. Tuck that toe in super hard. Make a nice flat top. Press into the floor really hard. 5 breaths on. We're at 2. Really pull back with those elbows. Pull forward with those knees. Keep that tailbone tucked. And rest for 3 breaths off. And back on. Tuck those knees in. Form tons of tension between your knees and your elbows. Pull them together. Five breaths on. And rest. As we rest here, I'll remind you guys, deep breaths really show ownership of the exercise. And back up, form tension, pull hard, tuck that tailbone in hard, drive those knees to the floor, drive them up forward, and pull those elbows back. Form a nice high tabletop. 4 and 5. And rest. Okay, nice job, guys. We'll take a quick little coffee break, and we'll see if we can get through the last set of exercises. What was I going to say? Like I was telling you guys earlier with that plank or with that tabletop, it is a game changer for sure. And those bear crawls will really help build your body's ability to use opposite arm and leg effectively, like we often are in climbing. We're often pulling with a high left foot and a right hand. Not always, but it's very common. And so it's kind of a good base for that. We call it a contralateral pattern. It's great. All right, so in our next set, we're going to do a little bit of glute bridging, and we'll combine that with our shin box. It'll be kind of a clever little exercise we came up with. Next, we're going to do a halo. For that, you're going to either want a towel, a band, or some sort of weights. I like to use a kettlebell personally. If you like a weight and you don't have proper weights at home, you can use a big fat book, a jug of milk, anything that's heavy. Try not to go too aggressive on it because it's going to be a good shoulder mobility drill and a good stretch. And then we're going to do a lot of single leg work in climbing, standing up on one leg while trying to hold the next hold. So we're going to use a chair to get ourselves squatting on one leg. And then we're going to do a little core exercise in a pike position. I think you guys will love it. So, start off in a glute bridge. You have a comment. Oh. All right, so I'm going to lay down. And we're going to get into a glute bridge. Want your hands up near your chest. And you're going to have your feet about hip width apart for now. We're going to drive up high. We're going to hold it. So this is going to be really great for toeing in and driving up on a steep wall, really engaging those glutes to keep a nice straight line from your knees to shoulders. I'm going to drive it back down, drive it back up. Keep that abdomen engaged, glutes tight. Progress this to make it a little bit harder. Go one leg off the floor. And back down, up, and back down, up, back down, switch, straight leg, up, back down, up, down, up, straight line, down, last one, up, down. So here's my clever little combination with the shin box. We're going to stay laying down, but we're going to be in this position. We're going to drive an elbow into the ground and trying to reach as high as we can. Might look similar to a Turkish get-up for those who are familiar. So we start actually going to the right side. So elbows down on the ground at about a 45 from your side. Rotate your knees down. I want you to now drive your shoulder up into the sky and drive your right elbow into the floor. Reach up to the next hold. Keep a nice tall rib cage, engage down, reverse nice and slow. Do it again. 1, back. Rotate those knees. It's like dropping it to the next hold. Drive back with that elbow. And again. Really engage the core. Drive back with the elbow. Rotate with those hips. Drive back on the elbow. Last one. I'm going to go to the other side now. Elbows at a 90 degree. Sorry, at a 45. Work those shins, shin box into drop knee position. Rotate, reach as high as you can. If this is as high as you can, that's fine. If you can drive up onto that elbow, great. Reach as high as you can. Keep a nice tall core, abdomen engaged. Work your way down. Again. Back down. Rotate, up again. Pull on that elbow. Back down. Drive those feet to the floor to rotate. And notice when I get to the top, my hand is stacked over my elbow. 2 more. 1, last 1, 2. All right, great job, guys. And then now we're going to do some halos. So using a towel, this is going to be, the distance is going to be based on the mobility of your shoulder. If you're using a weight, which is what I'm going to use, don't go too heavy. I recommend starting with about between 4 and 12 pounds for most people, as long as you have the range of motion to do it. This is a great range of motion builder. So if you have a kettlebell, grab it by the handle so that the bell is up. If you just have, if you have a dumbbell, you can hold it by either side and crush either side of the dumbbell on the weights. You can do the same thing if you're carrying a book. Again, if you have a band, try and get some tension on the band, pulling apart. Now, just like with the shoulder dislocates, we have the bar. We don't want our rib cage to break. We want that packed down. So keep those shoulders packed down. Keep the head tucked back without moving your head. Rotate your right hand behind your head, left hand behind your head, elbow up high to make a circle around your head. Do not move your head around your hands. I'm going to use the bell. We're going to go to our left, and then to the right, to the left, and to the right. Go again so you guys can see from that side. Three more on each side. One, two, the left, and to the right. When it reaches the back, you can let it stretch out a little bit. And 3 to the left, 3 to the right. That's the shoulder halos. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab our chair and bring it forward a little bit for you guys. Like I said earlier, in climbing, we're often on one leg. And I want you guys to work on a little bit of single leg work. Now, if the single leg squat is way too hard, here's my recommendation. As you squat down, you can focus mostly on one leg, but keep the other leg engaged to the floor as long as your supporting leg, the leg that you're trying to work on, has the knee facing more to the outside than to the inside. You don't want that supporting knee, or really either knee, to be tracking to the inside like this. That's dangerous on your knees. So try and get on one foot, and you're going to squat down. You're going to find the chair. As soon as you feel the chair, pop back up. Do that 4 more times. Woo, if we can. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, and then we're going to do it on the left foot. 1. So one thing a lot of people fail in is we kind of lean really far forward. I do too sometimes. Try and keep that chest really high as you squat back. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's great. Last, we're going to do an exercise I call seated pike or seated pike pulse. What you're going to do is you're going to find a moderate stretch in your hamstrings, very, very slight stretch in your hamstrings. And you put your hands down as far away from you as you can in that position, keeping a straight back. You want that low back locked out. You don't want to be rounded over. I want you to point your toes real hard. This is an ab exercise. You're going to try and lift your feet off the floor by pressing your hands into the floor. You go, lift them up. Quite challenging to do it once. We're going to try and do it 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice I breathe out sharp. That sharp breathing out forms really good tension in the core and allows us some good work. All right, if you guys got the time, I'm going to go through one more round of those. So I'm going to start lying on our back. I'm going to do a couple different glute bridge variations. First, we go hands up next to your chest. Reach up nice and high. I want you to roll onto your left shoulder, pretending you're reaching for the next hold. Roll onto your right shoulder, driving those legs into the ground, keeping those hips nice and high. Drive on the right foot to get on your left shoulder. Drive on the left foot to get on your right shoulder. Reach, reach, reach. Switch. Keep those hips up nice and high. Reach. Reach. Now we're on one foot. Get on the right leg. Reach with the right arm. Reach the left arm. Oh boy. Sometimes you tip over. Left leg. Reach the left arm. Reach with the right arm. As high as you can. Keep those up high. Now we're going to change it into our shin box exercise. Shin box reach. So hips up. Hips up. Rotate. Actually, hips are down, sorry. Rotate. Drive that elbow to the floor. Reach up as high as you can. And back down. Go to the other side. Rotate. Reach up as high as you can. Other side. Rotate. Reach up as high as you can. Driving that left elbow into the floor. Keep nice hard abdomen. Roll. Drive that right elbow into the floor. Reach. It's like a combination of a sit up, a drop knee, Turkish get up. All sorts of cool things combined. Keep rotating. We're going to go consistently for another 3 reps on each side. 1, and to the right, 2, 3. All right, great job, guys. Almost done. You guys can go and get your stuff for your halos. Hips up nice and high. Now I'm going to get into a tall kneeling position. Hard core, hard glutes. Halo is going to go around our head, or the bell or towel band, whatever you're using, is going to go around your head. You probably also use your dowel. And I'm going to go 1. And we're going to go 5 on each side. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Good work, y'all. Last one, our single leg squats. Now, if you're able to do 5 pistol squats all the way to the floor, you're more than welcome to. I can't. Again, that single leg work is really important in climbing. I encourage you all to try it a little bit, whether it's balance or a little bit of strength and squatting. If you can't get yourself into a single leg squat position, but you want to work on it, a really great exercise would be a prong squat. So you can get down as low as you can and move around over those knees to try and get used to being on one leg. It's a great regression. So you go 5 on each leg, alternating. The right leg first. Squat, try not to sit, pop up, just barely touch whatever you're sitting back onto. Left, up, 2. Another common mistake people make is they lean too far forward, and their front leg or knee is coming too far forward. Try and keep that shin as vertical as you can. I also struggle with this. So right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg, forward. One more each side. 1, 2. Nice job, guys. All right. Last thing, seated planks. Get yourself into a good seated position. Nice and tall, lean forward to a nice moderate stretch. Some people are going to be a little bit farther forward than others. Our hands are going to be far as forward as we can reach in that position. Low back locked out, nice and strong. Engaged abdomen. Point those toes nice and hard to the front. Drive those hands to the ground and really engage with that low abdomen. And breathe out as you pull up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and on 10, we're going to hold it. 5 breaths. And relax. All right. Thanks, guys. Hope that was good fun for y'all. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. You're welcome, Van. You're awesome. If you have any questions on them, let me know. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for joining me. I'll be doing this every Monday and Wednesday morning for at least the time being. Yeah, That's great. You guys have an awesome day.